Hello, this is Anna Cook, and this is my Module 14 for EDL 850. This is my case study review. The case study that we reviewed was about a teacher who received an email regarding a Facebook page that was made as an attack on her personal behavior and just derogatory remarks in general. And the case study also covered how the principal handled the situation, a little bit of background information about him. So, what do I know? The principal is established, has a great track record of good judgment and community approval. The teacher is new. She's new to the district, a new teacher in general, well educated, and has created a stressful classroom dynamic, and she has not successfully implemented strategies to ease the workload for students, and parents have had taken issue with this. The teacher received an email with a link to the Facebook page with derogatory remarks and negative allegations on her personal behaviors. The teacher interpreted it as a true threat and named a particular student as a suspect when speaking with the principal. What information is needed? What information can Facebook provide? Who, what username, what email created the page? Who sent the teacher the email? Was it a friend or an anonymous source? And what email did they send it to? Was it her school email? Did they have access to her personal email? Can the school search their database and see if a student account created or participated on the page using school technology? Is there a district precedent or policy regarding defamatory technology, social media, respective to a school employee? Did the teacher report the threat to the police or only notify the principal? Did the principal notify any other administration or district personnel? And why did the teacher single out an individual besides a spur-of-the-moment guess? And how is that student's behavior in other classes? So after looking at what I know and what I need to know, focusing on what the problems are. Is there a legitimate threat against the teacher? What are the policies and procedures in place to handle the situation regarding discipline? Who created the Facebook page? There is a level of anonymity here that is not acceptable. And are there any other unknowns, kind of addressing what do I need to know and getting as many facts as possible? My proposed plan of action. What I would first do is organize all the facts that I know and document and share with other administrators or district personnel. Creating a timeline of the situation is going to really help. Creating a timeline with the facts, reviewing the district policies regarding the investigation as well. Notifying the SRO officers and local police force that a threat was made against the teacher and that safety has felt compromised. Reviewing the materials, the email, the Facebook posts, and seeing if Facebook had responded with any information regarding the users who created the Facebook page. And can the district confirm any activity on school computers regarding the Facebook post or the email? Ask the teacher if she's in a good state of mental health to teach, or does she need to be put on leave during the investigation? Notifying teachers and students and parents of the situation, and will explain that an investigation will be conducted. Ultimately, really want to be transparent and follow the school guidelines. If a parent would like to be present during student interviews, take that into consideration. We do not want to compromise any rights or any level of comfort during. We want the students to feel secure and safe and understand where we are coming from. Strategies that I would like to implement. Ultimately, transparency and consistency. There's there's nothing that I would do documenting wise that I would want to hide. Gathering the facts, sharing it with other administrators, sorry, having consistent interviews with all of the students so that they are treated fairly. Documenting and following existing district procedures. That is exactly why these policies are in place, is to follow them in similar situations, and ultimately assuring the safety and security of all students and staff at all times, and gathering facts and remaining neutral throughout the entirety of the investigation. What is best for students? I really believe while conducting this investigation, there's going to be a range of emotions, and so as much normalcy as I can provide to the students continuing the class and returning to the scheduled curriculum as soon as their interview is concluded, emphasizing that the district does not tolerate defamation of any staff or students by any staff or students. There will be a serious consequence for the students involved, but they will not be publicly named. And communicating to all students and parents that the investigation has concluded and it will not affect the academic classroom. District policies and procedures will be followed handling the discipline of the matter. Local law enforcement will be involved if necessary. Do any of the policies need to be revised or recommended edits to the school board after this situation? I think that this is a time for, truly what's best for the students. It's thinking of future situations, and if there's something that's not included, could we propose an amendment or a clause to the school board to adopt into their policies for the situation similar to this? Do we need to provide additional training for students on digital citizenship? What is appropriate usage of school property and social media in general? My initial reaction is to document, kind of organize the facts, move with caution. I did have some sense of, I don't know, I had some confidence that it would be resolved. Social media and technology leaves a trace, and just utilizing the technology and the database and the timestamps and the history, technology will aid this investigation heavily. Ultimately, I wanted to make sure that this staff and students feel safe during this situation. Moving forward, I want to make sure that school technology is not being used for this, and if it had been, then we will offer training for students so they understand digital citizenship, correct behavior and etiquette online, but also what the consequences and how it, not only in a school setting, what the consequences, but what it could mean for them in real life. Losing a job, law enforcement being involved. Want to make sure that the students can move past this as well. Are they going to harbor some ill will with the intense atmosphere of the classroom? Is this negativity going to continue toward the teacher? I think that we'll have to maintain an active principal presence and showing support for both teachers and students in the classroom. And I want to make sure that all of the students and staff have their rights maintained, and that I'm aligning with the district building policies and procedures. A little bit of reflection. How did I apply knowledge that promotes success of every student by acting with integrity? I did not make any assumptions. I remained neutral until the investigation concluded. Transparency was upheld throughout the investigation to students, staff, and parents. I documented and followed school district policies and procedures. So I feel like the integrity is not jumping to conclusions, being patient, being fair, consistent, and transparent. How did I apply knowledge that promoted the success of every student by acting with fairness? The investigation was consistent and transparent. All interviews were conducted in the same way. I followed district policies and user guidelines, so fairness, maintaining the code of ethics that we have in our district regarding technology use and digital citizenship, and holding students accountable it's a privilege to use the materials, and are they being held to that standard? And I did not stop the academic course from continuing for the students once the investigation concluded. So it's not fair to the other students to derail a course. We have to be consistent and continue with why we are here, which is to educate. How did I apply knowledge that promotes the success of a student by acting in an ethical manner? I always upheld the safety and security of the student. The investigation was documented and conducted professionally. Consulting local police force and SRO officers regarding the situation and using that resource to maintain a high ethic environment, and protecting the privacy of students at all times, wanting to make sure that even once the investigation has concluded, that it is not publicly named. We will take care and discipline accordingly, but wanted it to resolve and get back to why we are there, which is our school community and high academic rigor. So just getting back to that. And that concludes my case study. Thanks for your time.